Yay, it worked. Yay, it worked. Yay, it worked. Crunch.
right, I've been trying to resolve my problem here, but since y'all can hear me, I'll try my best to hear y'all, but I would ask y'all, whoever speaks at any given time, to speak up loudly, please. Mr. Edelman, have y'all come to some resolution?
Andrew, you're muted.
Apologize, sir. The resolution we have achieved is that we will proceed with the hearing,
All right.
as far as I'm aware.
Call your witness or witnesses.
Well, Mr. Cox does not seem to
Where'd
be
he go?
available at the moment.
All right. Then we will continue to wait.
There he is.
And Kayleen, for the record, this hearing is, at this time, it is in public. It is public through YouTube at the request of Mr. Mayfield. Mr. Cox, you back with us?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
You ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I have announced for the record that this hearing is public through YouTube. All right, Mr. Edelman.
State calls Officer Laura Torres.
Ms. Torres,
Yes, sir, I'm here.
would you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. You may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Mayfield, one thing I did not complete telling you is that when you entered your plea on or about March the 6th of 2018, you were informed at that time that you did not have a right to appeal because you entered a plea according to a plea bargain. That was told to you on the record, and you also reviewed a form with your attorney at that time, and you signed that form. Today, during this proceeding, you have a limited right of appeal. That is, you have the right to appeal this particular proceeding and the results of it, but not the original plea that you entered on or about March the 6th of 2018. You understand you have that limited right of appeal?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Edelman, you may proceed with your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, would you please identify yourself for the record?
My name is Laura Torres, Bexar County Adult Probation Gang Unit.
How long have you been employed with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office?
2 years.
And were you employed as a certified peace officer before that time?
No,
And have you worked in this particular unit for the entire time that you've been with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office?
no, I've been in the gang unit for 1 year and I was a regular caseload DWI officer for the year prior to that.
Now, did you take over this case from another supervision officer?
That is correct.
Who was that supervision officer?
He is no longer with us. I believe his name was Officer Vera.
But do you have access to the notes that Officer Vera made about this case?
Yes, I do.
What is the earliest note that you find in regards to this case?
The earliest note that I find is that he has been an absconder since 7/12/18.
Objection. My objection, Judge, is not responsive to the question. The question was, what was the earliest note? Not what it said. So I'm going to object for that reason, it's non-responsive to the question. The answer is non-responsive to the question that was asked.
I'll sustain your objection.
I'll try to rephrase the question, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
I'll try to rephrase the question, Your Honor. When was Mr. Mayfield placed on supervision, if you know?
He was placed on supervision March 6, 2018.
What is the date of the earliest entry in the notes available to you?
Taking a look right now.
And my objection at this point, Judge, no matter what she says, is that if she's reviewing an item, or I don't know whether it's computer screen or paper, that's not in evidence. First of all, she can't read from it. And then if she's using this to refresh her recollection, then the state hasn't established a proper predicate for that. There's a predicate that they would have to do for that. And in addition to that, Judge, if she's reviewing something, then those items, whatever she's reviewing, should have been turned over to me.
Are you saying
in
this
this
is,
process.
Mr. Cox, are you saying you're objecting that this is a hearsay statement?
It's not, it's hearsay, Judge, and in which would deny my client a right of confrontation.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, this is a business record, which is an exception to the hearsay provision. And second of all, this is not a trial. So Mr. Mayfield does not have a right to see these documents before they are entered into evidence.
And,
All right, but as far as the hearsay objection, as of right now, I sustain that. You have to set a predicate, don't you?
Yes, Your Honor. May I continue?
Please.
Ms. Torres,
Yes,
without reading the contents of the entries, can you tell us when the earliest or first entry was made?
the earliest entry that I can see is May 31st, 2018.
And again, when was Mr. Mayfield placed on supervision?
He was placed on supervision on March the 6th, 2018.
And do you know who made the first entry?
It was the original gang officer at that time.
How do you know that that
objection,
person made the first entry?
objection.
I don't think that Judge Longoria heard your objection.
Okay, I'm sorry. My objection was to objection in terms of hearsay, right of confrontation, because the question was asked, who made the notation? And the only way this witness can testify to that is that she had personal knowledge of it, and that hasn't been established.
Your Honor, may I respond?
You may respond.
The predicate for the hearsay exception for records of regularly conducted business activities is that the record was made at or near the time of the event or activity, that it was made from information transmitted by a person with personal knowledge, that it was kept in the regular course of the business, and that it is a regular practice of the business to make a record whenever that activity occurs. So part of the predicate is to establish that the record was made by a person with personal knowledge. That would be the original supervision officer. But if Mr. Cox objects to even making the predicate to have this entered as a hearsay exception, then of course I'm never going to be able to get it into evidence.
And that's true, because there's two things we have to deal with, Judge. Okay, we're talking about it hasn't been established what we're talking about. Nothing has ever been identified. We don't know what she may be looking at a coloring book for all I know. I don't know what she's looking at. So how could you use a business record exception and we don't have a business record? We don't know what she's testifying from at this point, Judge. Those things for appeal purposes, those things has to be not only on a record, they have to be offered, even if it's for the purpose of what she's looking at. I would have an opportunity to look at it. I'm
Mr.
sorry, Judge.
Cox, are you available tomorrow afternoon?
Tomorrow afternoon, Judge?
Yes, sir.
I
Check
can
your calendar, please, because
check my calendar.
you know, this is not very practical because I'm barely hearing y'all and I'm having a real hard time. So I'm gonna have to have this technology here straightened out for me. I can't do justice to either side, state or defense, unless I can hear you clearly, and I cannot.
Your Honor, does that mean that we will recess this proceeding until a further date?
Probably tomorrow afternoon, if I can, or the earliest afternoon that Mr. Cox is available.
Okay.
Are you having trouble hearing? The volume, does it need to be turned up, Your Honor? Can you hear us okay?
This one turned up to 100 to 100, and I can barely hear y'all.
Okay.
I'm working from a laptop I'm here in the courthouse.
Okay. I can. Okay. I'll make myself available, Judge, tomorrow. If
Your Honor, if I
Yes.
may, you have a plea set tomorrow at 1:30.
All right, so why don't we do this at 2:30?
Cornelius?
okay. 2:30
Mark,
tomorrow,
2:30, you
Judge.
available,
I'll mark it
Cornelius?
down. Yes, sir. I'll make myself available, Judge. Let me ask you a question. You want me to? It's going to be on Zoom, or will I be in the courtroom?
I'm sorry?
Or will I be on Zoom tomorrow?
I expect to be.
Okay. 2:30 on Zoom.
All right, Mr. Mayfield,
Yes,
I expect you're available to 2:30 tomorrow.
yes, sir.
Pardon me?
Well,
I think he said yes, sir. I think that's what I
He
heard.
did, sir, before he cut out.
All right, then we're going to recall this at 2:30